Very wonderful good morning to all my
Good morning.
participants of this online course on fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So once again, I am delighted and happy to see all my good friends, online good friends. Again, I think it is the 8th day we are meeting once again. And today we have a very special day because we have two distinguished resource persons. One is Dr. D. Sivakumar, and he is sitting in Kadalur, some 40 kilometer away from Chidambaram. And another resource person is in our studio, Dr. V.S. Sampath. He is the coordinator law wing, Annamalai University, director of distance education. So we have invited two personalities because the topic is very, very important. And it is about right to constitutional remedies. And I'm just going to brief how we are going to handle this session. The first part of the session will be handled by Dr. D. Sivakumar, and I'm going to end the first technical session. After the first technical session end, again, as usual, you log in with the same user ID and password. The second session, the continuing session, will be handled by our distinguished senior most professor, Dr. V.S. Sampath. So, few words about Dr. D. Sivakumar. Is a young associate professor in the Department of Political Science, and the first batch of 5-year integrated MA Political Science. We have started in the year 1994. He was the first batch student of this course. He joined the department in the year 2000 as a young faculty member, and significantly he has been working in international relations, social welfare administration, and etc. etc. And to credit, he has a couple of publications, and one of the great asset for the department. And the second resource person is Dr. V.S. Sampath, very senior most professor. And I'm not the right person to introduce him, but it is anyway, I'm going to be an anchor. So there is no other way that I have to introduce Dr. V.S. Sampath, having a rich experience in law profession. That is purposefully the HOD, Dr. C. Subramanian, invited Dr. V.S. Sampath, sir. And certainly he is going to handle the second part of the technical session. And you have a lot of questions regarding right to constitutional remedies, how to approach the court, how to file the petition in the court. And there are writs are available. And each and every writ, any clarification, you can ask the question. And now first I request Dr. D. Sivakumar to deliver a lecture on right to constitutional remedies. And session will go up to 20-25 minutes. Now it's time for Dr. D. Sivakumar. Please.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for introducing me. Now I start?
Yes.
Start. Okay. Good morning to all. My sincere thanks to university authorities, the Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Dean, Faculty of Arts, Head of the Department of Political Science and Public Administration, and my senior colleagues for providing me opportunity to take part in this 2-week online course on Introduction to Fundamental Rights and Duties. And my topic of lecture is Right to Constitutional Remedies. My dear participants, hope you all safe at home in this lockdown period. Now we are going to discuss about the right to constitutional remedies. The right to constitutional remedies is one of the heart and soul of Indian Constitution. Our topic, the right to constitutional remedies, deals 4 important headings. In last only discuss the conclusion remarks. The first heading, second heading, third heading, and fourth heading, they mainly focused the constitutional remedies. In what ways enter in Indian Constitution? In before itself, before 1945, the world was divided into more aspects. After Second World War, the 2 hegemonies dominated in the world. After 1945, the India was attained independence. Thereafter, immediately our government was accepted and implemented the Constitution. The Constitution was effect on January 26, 1950. Especially the Indian Constitution, the mostly borrowed. In right to constitutional remedies, also taken various nations, but the constitutional remedies is more important factor to the human being. The violation of fundamental rights, at the time itself, the constitutional remedies role is more important, especially the writs have power, the courts, especially the Supreme Court, high courts in the states, then district courts. Our topic, they mainly focus the four important headings. Now we are discussing about the introduction. The introduction deals four subheadings like definition, human rights, constitutional rights, fundamental rights. You see the slide, the Indian polity, Article 32 and 226. Article 232 deals the Supreme Court. Then 226, the state high courts. Our father of Indian Constitution, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, said the famous quotation of the right to constitutional remedies, heart and soul. Then the definition of constitutional remedies, like the writs are the written order issued by the Supreme Court of India to provide constitutional remedies in order to protect the fundamental rights of the citizen from violation. In anywhere in India, now the India having 29 states and 28 states and 9 union territories. All of them, they are include Indian Constitution. Then the human rights. In previous class also I have discussed the human rights. The human rights, they mainly started from various aspects. 1215 Charter of Magna Carta was started. The King John was introduced the bill in British Parliament. After that, it was started the human rights. In USA, the American freedom struggle as well as the American Revolution, giving more importance to the human being, especially the human rights. The USA, in before itself, before 1776, there are 13 colonies. The 13 colonies unified in one manner, rights of man. The rights of man giving more important aspects to the human rights. In American Revolution, it is applicable to French Revolution also. The French Revolution was started from 1789 up to 1799. The French Revolution giving the importance of the people, especially liberty, equality, and fraternity. These are the main, the focal theme for development of the French Revolution. The French Revolution is giving the rights of man also. Thereafter, the UNO was established on October 24th, 1945, the end of Second World War. The end of Second World War was giving lot of information to the development of human beings as well as the human rights. The human rights is applicable and implemented in 1948, December 10, 1948. In this year, the world was freed from the negative aspects of especially the violations of the negative elements. The human rights was focused after 1948 in the world. In our constitution, immediately accepted in fundamental rights. The human rights says that right to live and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, equal law of speech and expression. The freedom of speech and expression also include our fundamental rights also. The right to be treated with dignity and respect are afforded to people. These points mainly quoted the freedom from slavery and torture. In before 1945, the most of the nations, especially Asia and African continents, mostly under the control of some hegemonies like the Western nations. Now we discuss about the third subheading, the constitutional rights. The power of government, whether the local government, state governments, and union government. The constitutional rights can be prerogative or duty, a power or a restrained power established by sovereign state or union of states, empowered with the sovereign authority of the people. Mainly the constitutional rights focused the local governments, state governments, and union governments having power. And what type of power? The sovereign power. The sovereign authority is more important authority of the state. What is the meaning of sovereignty? The main ultimate aim of sovereignty is the supreme power of the state, because the constitutional rights always focused the sovereign authority. Then we discuss the fourth subheading, like fundamental rights. The fundamental rights in 6 headings to discuss it. The right to equality, Article 14 to 18. Right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. Right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24. Right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. Cultural and educational rights, 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 32 to 35. In Article 32, mainly focused the writ petition also. There are 5 important writs. We will discuss laterly. Then the fundamental rights. The fundamental rights are essential human rights that are offered to every citizen, irrespective of caste, race, creed, place of birth, religion, or gender. These are equal to freedoms, and these rights are essential for personal good and the society at large. You see, in India, already we discussed the India have 28 states and 9 union territories. In world level, the only one country based on many aspects like religion, Hindu, Muslims, Christian, Buddhism, Sikhs, and etc. etc. These religions are living together in only one nation, because our nation was followed sovereign secular nation. The fundamental rights also focused on giving more importance to the citizen of India. Then you see in the world, most of the nations, they are having only 2 religions, maximum 3 religions. In our India, having more religions, as well as more caste system and more racial system. You see, India was divided into 5 important segments, like North India, South India, East India, West India, and Northeast India. These 5 zones, the 5 zones having colorly, we were described, and birth, everything, religion is differed, but we are unified in only one quote: the unity and diversity. The unity and diversity giving more importance to the development of the nation. You see, in the worldwide, some nations, they are giving only one religion dominated and ruled in their nation. They are easily developed, but these type of issues, having it in this nation, developed in the world, that is more important. Who is the united in our 5 zones? Our constitution was united, the 5 segments. Now we discuss about the writs in various aspects. This is the second heading. The second head discuss about the what is writ. What is the writ petition? Facts about writs in India. Scope of writs, types of writs. These 5 are discussing about the writs in various aspects in India. The first one is the what is writ. The writs are the written order issued by the Supreme Court of India, Article 32, to provide constitutional remedies in order to protect the fundamental rights of the citizen from violation. In any time the violation was arised, at the time the constitutional remedies included in the court also. Then the second heading, writ petition. The writ petition says that a writ petition is essentially a court petition for extraordinary review, asking a court to intervene the lower court decisions. Under the Indian legal system, jurisdictions to issue prerogative writs is given to the Supreme Court and High Courts of judicature of all Indian states. Parts of the law relating to writs are set forth in the Constitution of India. In India, there are three important aspects of courts are there. The top first, chief of the court in India, Supreme Court. In each and every state having state high courts, then district courts. Yes, generally we call subordinate courts. These are the having more power to the writ petition. Then third important subheading like the facts about writs in India. Article 32 also empowers Parliament to take authorize any other court to issue these writs. Then Article 226, but Article 32 in part 3. Article 226 empowers all the high courts of India to issue the writs. The writs of India are borrowed from English law, where they are known as prerogative writs. The England government also followed the prerogative writs for 6 aspects. Then the fourth heading like the scope of writs. The part 3 of the Constitution provides the legal remedies for the protection of the rights against violation of state or other individuals. Then it entitles the citizen of India to move the Supreme Court or state high courts for the enforcement of these rights. The state is forbidden from making any law that may be in conflict with the fundamental rights. The scope of rights the mainly focused the citizens entered in Supreme Court, high courts, as well as the district courts. Then the fifth subheading is the types of the Constitution empowers the Supreme Court and the state high courts to issue orders or writs. Habeas corpus, certiorari, prohibition, mandamus, quo warranto. These 5 writs are giving defense of the citizen to enter the Supreme. You see, in India, having 5 writs, it is applicable to other nations also. In the world, mostly our Indian Constitution in India was under the control of British hegemony up to 1947. So mostly our parliamentary system was based on British government. The Great Britain was the first nation was started the constitutional setup. The British Constitution based on written and unwritten Constitution. The best example for unwritten Constitution is Britain. Then USA. Already we discussed the 13 colonies in USA. The 13 colonies mainly focused the rights of man, the legal rights. Then USA, you know, the USA is one of the nation in North America, one of the democratic nation in the world. India also democratic nation in USA, but India is the biggest one. But USA also the democratic nation. The first was set up in the world. 1776 also. The 1789 they are framed the constitution also. The first president of USA, George Washington. Now George Washington mainly quoted the US is a forerunner nation in the democracy. Then we are included the Pakistan also. The Pakistan also following the 5 writs. India is following, the Pakistan also following. Because I have included these 3 nations only in the status of writs in global level. Now we discuss the status of writs in global level, the one by one. The first one is writs in Great Britain. The Great Britain, the constitutional remedies have 6 important headings, like certiorari. The certiorari deals on order by High Court directing a lower court to send the record in a given case for review. Then habeas corpus, But in Indian constitution, the first one is habeas corpus. But in England, they are following second one, habeas corpus. They demand that the prisoner be taken before the court to determine whether there is lawful authority to detain the person. The third one is mandamus. The mandamus mainly focused on order issued by the High Court to compel or to direct a lower court or a government officer to perform mandatory duties correctly. Then prohibition. The prohibition based on directing subordinate to stop doing something the law prohibits. Then fifth one, presidento. But in Indian constitution, we are not applicable to presidento. To send a case from an appellate court to a lower court with an order to proceed with the judgment. Then last one, quo warranto. The quo warranto mainly focused to recovering person to show by what authority they exercise a power. These three heads to discuss about prerogative writs in British Constitution. Then the second quoted nation, like the USA, the writs in USA followed the same provision. Habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. The habeas corpus produced the body. This writ is used to determine the legality of person's detention. Then mandamus. Generally, we follow the command is authority one. The writ directs a public official or a government department to take on action. Then prohibition. Appellate court, lower courts ordering the lower courts to obstacle from taking a proposal action. Then fourth, certiorari. The certiorari, it is a matter discussion of lower courts. Then fifth one is quo warranto. The state challenges the legality of using public office. The writs are followed the USA. Then the third head, writs in Pakistan. The Pakistan also followed the same system. Their article 199 of the Constitution confers wide powers of judicial review on provincial high courts in Pakistan. The India, Supreme Court, High Courts, and District Courts, same it is followed. Then in our nation, central government, state governments, and local government. It is applicable to Pakistan also, because I take this one. Article 199 of the Constitution confers wide powers of judicial review on provincial high courts in Pakistan. The orders which a high court may issue under Article 199 are also known as writs. Then there are the writs was followed, is following in Pakistan: prohibition, mandamus, certiorari, habeas corpus, and quo warranto also. Now we discuss our Indian Constitution, especially the writs in India. Our writs in India based on 5 important headings like habeas corpus, mandamus, certiorari, prohibition, and quo warranto. These 5 are more important writs to include Indian Constitution, especially right to constitutional remedies. Now we discuss the habeas corpus. The habeas corpus, the literal means have the body. The word habeas corpus derived from Latin terminology. The habeas corpus orders issued by the court only, Supreme Court, High Courts, District Courts. It is an order issued by the court to a person who has detained another person. The court examines the cause and the legality of detention. To release a person who has been detained unlawfully, whether in prison or in private custody. The habeas corpus, the mainly based on these events. the Supreme Court are entered and giving the chance to file a writ also. Then the Supreme Court or courts should not issue the order for the detention is lawful. Detention is outside the jurisdiction of the courts. Then we move to second subheading like mandamus. Generally, the mandamus be command. The command is more important aspects. The courts issued public official asking him to perform his official duties that he has failed or refused to perform. It can also be issued any public body or corporation to secure the performance of public duties, the lower court, tribunal, or public authority. The mandamus mainly to issuing the order on the time of the work culture, the commanding to perform more and more. Then the court is not issued some events like against a private individual or body, against the Chief Justice of a High Court acting in judicial capacity. Mostly, the rules and regulations was followed in India. The President, Prime Minister and his ministries, Supreme Courts as well as High Courts. These are having power to implement the rules and regulations. The law implemented by the Supreme Court. Then the law passed by the Parliament. The three aspects, the executive, legislature, and judiciary. These three important authorities are enforce the act and laws in India. Then third heading, prohibition. Prohibition, the meaning is to forbid. The court was issued to prevent the latter from exceeding its jurisdiction or usurping a jurisdiction that it does not possess. The prohibition directs inactivity. Then only against the judicial and quasi-judicial authorities. Then in these three aspects, Supreme Court and the High Courts, they are giving prohibition. Then the Supreme Court cannot issue the orders for the administrative authorities, especially the legislative bodies. Then fourth heading is certiorari. The certiorari means to be certified. The certiorari deals some important points like it is issued on the grounds of excess jurisdiction of lack of jurisdiction of a error of law. Issued only against judicial and quasi-judicial authorities and not against the administrative authorities. Then they issued even against the administrative authorities affecting rights of individuals. Then the prohibit on inferior court from continuing the proceeding in a particular case that it has the jurisdiction to try. Sometimes the Supreme Court and the High Courts cannot issue the order. Legislative bodies as well as the private individuals. The finally, quo warranto. The quo warranto means by what authority or warrant. Some cases they are issued the order, the court to inquire into the legality of claim of a person to a public office. It prevents legal submission of public.
We have 2 minutes, Sivakumar, Dr. Sivakumar.
Okay, thank you. It prevents legal usurpation of public office by a person, substantive public office of a permanent character created by a statute or by the constitution. To restrain a person from holding a public office, he is not entitled. Then the court not issued the order, ministerial office, private individuals. The four important headings, the mainly focused the constitutional remedies in Indian Constitution. Then finally, we discuss the conclusion. The citizen of India to move a court or law in case of denial of the fundamental rights. The habeas corpus and quo warranto being confined to specific situations. Saturnin and mandamus are the two most common writs to control the actions of the administrative body. Then prohibition is acting in an of the constitution manner and a violation of the natural justice. These are the concluding remarks above said the constitutional remedies. Dear participants, patiently watching my class and my department technical teams, always thank you for giving a chance to deliver the special lecture about the constitutional remedies. All of you, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sivakumar, and for your preparation and wonderful presentation. And
Thank
we
you.
have another reserve persons waiting. I am going to end the current session. I request all the participants to kindly re-log in with the same user ID and the password, and we will admit you within 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you, Sivakumar. Thank you.
Thank you.